You're on a first date. The conversation is flowing, they're charming, and you're starting to feel hopeful. But something feels slightly off. You just can't put your finger on it. What if I told you that the first 3 dates reveal almost everything you need to know about whether this person is worth your time? Psychology gives us clear patterns to watch for. Today, we're breaking down the red flags you should never ignore, even if the chemistry feels strong. The early stages of dating are when people are on their best behavior. If someone is showing red flags now, it's only going to get worse once the honeymoon phase ends and they get comfortable. Psychologically, this is when you should be gathering data, not just about attraction, but about character, emotional maturity, and how this person treats others. Your brain is flooded with dopamine and oxytocin during early attraction, which can cloud your judgment. That's why it's critical to stay grounded and watch for patterns, not just focus on how they make you feel. Red flags aren't always obvious deal breakers. Sometimes they're subtle cues that this person might not be emotionally available, respectful, or ready for a healthy relationship. Let's talk about what to watch for. Red flag 1. They talk about their ex constantly, or won't talk about them at all. Pay attention to how they discuss past relationships. If they spend the entire date bashing their ex, calling them crazy, or blaming them for everything, that's a red flag. It shows a lack of accountability and emotional maturity. Healthy people can acknowledge their role in past relationship failures. On the flip side, if they completely shut down when you ask about their relationship history, that's also concerning. It might mean they're not over their ex, they're hiding something, or they're emotionally avoidant. A green flag is someone who can talk about past relationships with honesty and reflection. It didn't work out because we wanted different things, and I learned a lot about what I need in a partner. Red flag 2. They're rude to service workers. This is one of the most reliable indicators of character. Watch how they treat the server, bartender, or anyone in a service role. Are they dismissive, condescending, or impatient? This tells you how they treat people they perceive as beneath them. Psychologically, this behavior reveals a lack of empathy and an inflated sense of entitlement. If they're rude to a stranger now, imagine how they'll treat you once the initial charm wears off. Kindness to people who can't do anything for you is the true measure of character. If they're polite to you but disrespectful to others, that's a warning sign. Red flag 3. They move too fast emotionally. If by the 3rd date, they're talking about how you're their soulmate, how they've never felt this way before, or discussing moving in together, slow down. This is called love bombing, and it's a manipulation tactic. Real emotional intimacy takes time to build. Someone who declares intense feelings prematurely is either emotionally immature, avoidant of real intimacy, and using intensity to distract from depth, or deliberately trying to create create dependency. This rapid escalation might feel romantic, but it's actually a red flag for poor boundaries and potential control issues. Healthy dating progresses steadily, with both people taking time to truly know each other before making big commitments or declarations. Red flag 4. They're constantly on their phone. If they're scrolling through their phone, texting, or taking calls during your date, that's a sign of disrespect and lack of presence. It tells you they don't value your time or the effort to be fully engaged. Psychologically, this behavior suggests poor impulse control, inability to be present, or even that they're keeping their options open, possibly texting other people they're dating. A first date is when people are supposed to be making their best impression. If they can't put their phone away now, imagine what it'll be like 6 months in. Everyone checks their phone occasionally, but if it's constant and they offer no apology or explanation, that's a red flag. Red flag 5. They don't ask you any questions. A conversation is a two-way street. If they spend the entire date talking about themselves, their job, their hobbies, their opinions, without showing curiosity about you, that's a major red flag. It reveals narcissistic tendencies, or at minimum, self-absorption. Healthy people are interested in learning about their date. They ask follow-up questions, listen actively, and create space for you to share. If you leave the date feeling like you barely spoke, or like they don't actually know anything about you, trust that feeling. This person is more interested in having an audience than building a genuine connection. The first 3 dates are your opportunity to gather information. Don't ignore red flags because the chemistry is good or because you're lonely. Chemistry can exist with the wrong person. Pay attention to how they treat others, how they talk about past relationships, whether they respect your time and boundaries, and whether they show genuine interest in who you are. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. You're not being picky, you're being discerning. And that's a strength. It's better to walk away early than to invest months or years in someone who was showing you who they were from the start. You deserve someone who's emotionally available, respectful, and genuinely interested in building something real with you. Don't settle for less.